Okay, good morning or good evening, Brandon, or good morning, whatever time it may be in Japan. So I listened to your tunes. Some I like more than others. I was immediately drawn to the Beyond song. Thought that was catchy and meaningful. And so I was messing around on YouTube to watch the video, and I found that he did a did that version or did a version of that song with country music artist Luke Combs, a guy that I listened to quite a bit as of late. He's a pretty big time country music artist right now. But you know me, being the big time hunter that I am, I also listen to the Meat Eater podcast, and Luke Combs made an appearance, and they actually talked about songwriting and country music, obviously specifically songwriting on the podcast with Meat Eater. So it was, and I listened to that not that long ago. It's interesting to hear how, they come up with those songs and kind of the machine that puts it all together in Nashville, and maybe even more of a machine in LA for other pop music. So it was nice to be able to tie all that together. Who knew that Leon would perform with Luke, and Luke would be on Meat Eater, and it all came together for me. So it's a fun experience. I suggest maybe you give that one a listen. Okay, one song or artist that brings back the fond memories. Um, it's an easy one for me. I would go to "I Want It That Way" by the Backstreet Boys. That dun 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 dun, yeah, yeah. 'Cause I want it that way. Um, Great song, uh, fantastic music video. Um, all five Backstreet Boys actually have a solo singing part. That's important. A couple of the guys were often left out. Um, I remember, I think it's probably my sophomore, junior in high school, being in Mr. Demarelli's math class and getting in early to make sure I wrote down the lyrics to that song on the chalkboard so everybody in our class could appreciate and really get down in depth with the Backstreet Boys. It wasn't just a boy band thing, there had some solid lyrics because I want it that way. Um, Made me probably the first time I just accepted the fact that I liked boy bands, and I was just not going to be super ashamed of it. So just kind of me and a guy named Eric would just jam out to some Backstreet Boys, and yeah, pretty G, but it's pretty fun. Um, and more recently, there's a show called The Masked Singer. So they wear masks, and then you have to guess who it is that's singing. Um, and they had one of the former Backstreet Boys, and like two notes in, I'm like, that's Nick Carter, and I knew it immediately in my, of course it was him, and um, my wife had never been so proud in her life. Just bam, right off the bat, I knew it was. I not only did I know it was a Backstreet Boy, but I knew which Backstreet Boy it was. So yeah, she was pretty stoked about that. Um, Newer song or artist from the 2010s. Harder question for me. I don't like seriously listen to music that much or at all. Just kind of hear whatever's on the radio. So, but I would say more specifically the genre of country music is probably, especially in the last 5, 6, 7 years. It's pretty much all that I listen to. It's again, it's another version of pop music, but probably easier for me to relate to now that I'm kind of more settled, family life, that kind of stuff. Hunter, fisherman, outdoorsman, married a gal from Oklahoma, so I can relate a little bit more to country, but it really still needs to be like a version of country pop music. So um, Luke Combs, like I said, Eric Church is more of an artist. He might be somebody that you could appreciate. Miranda Lambert is like during the pandemic was somebody I was listening to more of. I think it was a little more bluesy, a little more soul into it. Um, I enjoyed that during the pandemic. Blake Shelton from Oklahoma, Carrie Underwood from Oklahoma. So you start finding these folks that you can, we're basically neighbors, practically kin. I wear Oklahoma sweatshirts all the time. They're from Oklahoma. I've driven through a lot of their hometowns. So, country music. Got a pickup truck. Got to get a dog and listen to some country. One song or artist that Alicia and I, again, that's harder for me to narrow down. We were gonna go to a Sam Hunt concert at one point, and that kind of fell through. He's very much pop, boy band, country. Um, Blake is easy to say. She's kind of gotten me into some of the older 80s, 70s. She grew up with country. So, gotten me to appreciate um, Merle Haggard and Waylon Jennings um, and other older country artists, Conway Twitty. It's not unreasonable to think that any of those songs, Patsy Cline might be, we might be listening to that in our house. Try to introduce the kids to that stuff too, so they can kind of know some of where their roots are. So um, I'm not sure I can give you one artist, but then I'd say she's introduced me to an older country music swing. So, and then the kids, the littles, just we again, we have the satellite radio now in the car, so it's a lot of kids bop, um, more appropriate pop hits. So it's still pop, but it's they take out some of the lyrics that maybe not age appropriate for them. Lex is more interesting because I think her music tastes run a little bit deeper. Choir, she's maybe a little more technical, but she likes the pentatonics, the harmonizing. Folks who are really musically, vocally talented. But I think she'll listen to pretty much anything, and she'll not just the top 100s. She'll listen to a little bit of everything, and kind of appreciate more about music. Hopefully, she continues to develop that. So she's kind of the has a good ear for what real vocalists sound like. So she'll listen to it all. Okay, my question for you will transition into more about kids. Where are you at with where are you and Ayung at with kids? Has adoption come across the table? Is that something that you guys have had that conversation? Um, I had Mr. Ben Russell once tell us that we needed to have more kids because the bad people are starting to outnumber the good people, and so the good people just need to keep creating more good people. I don't know if that's necessarily how it works or if the math would play out, but I do believe that you and Ayung have a lot of really great qualities that would make really great parents. And I don't know if biologically that's still in the cards at all. And if it's not, if adoption has come across the table. Not that we've considered adopting, but before the pandemic, or actually before the in-laws moved here, we were considering being like a family big, and the big brothers, big sisters. Um, just because we know that there's so many kids out there who could use more opportunities and a better life, and so we should probably get back into that too now. Once this kind of thing stabilizes, and not that we don't have anything else going on, but you kind of make time for that kind of stuff because you could make a real big impact in somebody's life, and obviously you've seen Kara and what she's been able to do, and adopting obviously makes a big impact. So, but maybe that's just not in the cards for you guys, and that's not the route for you. And if so, so be it. Just kind of want to pick your brain and see what your thoughts are with that, and what circumstances might lead to whatever it leads to. So I think, I mean, in the end, I just think that you two would be really good, really great parents, and most importantly, I'd be a really great uncle. So just kind of want to see where we're at with that. All right, that's my video. We'll talk soon.